Level 1. Basic Spells. When you first step into the world of magic at Hogwarts, you need to master the fundamentals. These are the building blocks that every witch and wizard learns before moving on to anything more complicated. Think of them as the alphabet of magic, simple, essential, and used constantly throughout your magical life. Lumos is one of the first spells you'll ever cast. When you say this word and point your wand, the tip lights up like a flashlight. It's not just for show, it's practical. Imagine walking through dark corridors or searching for something you dropped under your bed. The light stays on as long as you need it, and it follows wherever your wand points. The spell taps into a basic form of magical energy that almost anyone can produce, which is why it's taught so early. Nox is the partner spell to Lumos. It does exactly the opposite. It turns the light off. You simply say the word, and the glow at your wand tip disappears instantly. This teaches young wizards an important lesson about magical control. Every action should have a counter-action. You can't just leave magic running forever, you need to know how to stop what you start. Alohomora is your go-to spell for locked doors and windows. When you cast it at a lock, the mechanism clicks open as if you'd used the right key. It works on most ordinary locks, though more secure locations use spells that block Alohomora from working. This spell teaches you about directing magic at specific targets and understanding mechanical objects through magical means. Wingardium Leviosa makes objects float in the air. You point your wand at something, say the words with the right swish and flick motion, and the object lifts off the ground. It hovers in place, and with practice you can guide it through the air. The trick is pronouncing it correctly and moving your wand the right way. Level 2. Intermediate Spells. Once you've got the basics down, you move into spells that actually help you in tricky situations. These require more focus and better aim than the beginner spells. You're not just making light or floating feathers anymore, you're dealing with problems that need quick thinking and precise wand work. Expelliarmus is a disarming spell that knocks the wand or weapon right out of someone's hand. When you cast it, a burst of energy shoots from your wand toward your opponent. If it hits them, whatever they're holding flies away, usually spinning through the air before landing several feet away. This spell became famous because Harry Potter used it constantly. It's defensive rather than aggressive. You're not trying to hurt anyone, just remove their ability to attack you. The spell requires you to aim carefully at the person's hand or wand, and you need enough force behind it to actually make them lose their grip. Stupefy sends out a jet of red light that stuns whoever it hits. The person doesn't get hurt, but they freeze up and fall over, completely unconscious. They stay that way until someone wakes them up with a counterspell, or they recover naturally after some time. Stunning spells are used by both good and bad wizards because they stop someone without causing permanent damage. You need to concentrate on your target and really mean it when you cast Stupefy. Half-hearted attempts just produce weak effects. Accio is the summoning charm. You say the spell followed by the name of what you want, and that object flies toward you from wherever it is. If you say Accio book and there's a book in the next room, it zooms through the doorway straight into your hands. The object has to be something you can clearly picture in your mind, and it can't be living. The farther away the object is, the more magical strength you need to pull it to you. Ridiculous works specifically on boggarts, which are creatures that transform into whatever scares you most. This spell forces the boggart to change into something funny instead of frightening. Level 3. Advanced Spells. Advanced spells demand much more from you as a wizard. You're not just pointing and saying words anymore. You need real magical strength, sharp focus, and the ability to hold complex ideas in your mind while casting. These spells can protect you, destroy obstacles, or completely stop an opponent. Protego creates an invisible shield in front of you that bounces spells away. When someone fires a curse at you, Protego makes it ricochet off like a ball hitting a wall. The shield appears as a shimmering barrier for just a moment when it blocks something. The strength of your shield depends on how much power you put into it. A weak Protego might only deflect minor spells, while a strong one can stop serious attacks. You have to cast it at exactly the right moment. Too early and it fades before the attack arrives. Too late and you're already hit. Advanced wizards can hold a Protego shield for longer periods or even expand it to protect other people standing near them. Reducto is a blasting curse that explodes whatever you point it at. When the spell hits a solid object, it shatters into pieces or crumbles into dust. You might use it to blast through a locked door, break apart a boulder blocking your path, or destroy something dangerous. The spell releases concentrated destructive energy at a single point. You need to channel aggressive intent into the spell, not anger exactly, but a clear determination to break the target apart. If your focus wavers, the spell might only crack the object instead of destroying it completely. Petrificus Totalis locks someone's entire body in place. Their arms snap to their sides, their legs lock together, and they fall over like a rigid board. They're completely aware of what's happening, but can't move a muscle or speak. The spell affects every part of their body simultaneously, which is why it takes more skill than simpler binding spells that only freeze one limb. Level 4. Complex and dangerous spells. This level contains some of the darkest magic in the wizarding world. 3 of these spells are called Unforgivable Curses, and using any of them on another person gets you sent straight to Azkaban prison for life. They require not just magical skill, but genuine malicious intent. You have to truly mean harm for them to work properly. Crucio is the Cruciatus curse, designed purely to cause pain. When this curse hits someone, they experience agony so intense that they writhe on the ground, screaming. Their nervous system feels like it's on fire, and every part of their body hurts at once. The pain doesn't cause visible injuries, there are no cuts or bruises, but the psychological damage can be permanent. People who've been tortured with Crucio for extended periods have lost their sanity completely. To cast this curse, you need to actually want to cause suffering. Simply saying the words won't work. Your mind has to be filled with the desire to make someone hurt. Imperio is the Imperious curse, which takes complete control of someone's mind. When you're under this curse, you feel a strange sense of calm and happiness, and you'll do whatever the caster tells you to do without question. You might walk off a cliff, hand over secrets, or attack your own friends, all while feeling like everything is wonderful. Some strong-willed people can fight it off, but most can't. The caster speaks commands either out loud or mentally, and the victim obeys instantly. This curse removes free will entirely, turning people into puppets. Avada Kedavra is the killing curse. A flash of green light shoots from the wand, and whoever it hits dies immediately. There's no pain, no struggle, just instant death. No shield charm can block it, and there's no counter curse. The only known person to survive it was Harry Potter. Sectum Sempra slashes the target with invisible blades, creating deep cuts. Level 5. Transfiguration Spells. Transfiguration is a completely different branch of magic from charms and curses. Instead of creating effects or influencing behavior, you're actually changing what something is at its most basic level. You're rewriting reality by transforming one type of matter into another. This requires understanding both what the object currently is and what you want it to become. Transfiguration itself covers turning any object into something else entirely. You might transform a desk into a pig, a rat into a water goblet, or a beetle into a button. The spell requires you to hold a perfect mental image of the final form while channeling magic through your wand. If your concentration slips or your mental picture is fuzzy, you get partial transformations, a goblet with a tail or a pig with wooden legs. The more different the two objects are, the harder the spell becomes. Changing a turtle into a teapot is easier than changing a rock into a bird because the turtle is already alive and has moving parts. You also need to understand the properties of both objects. How does a pig's biology work? What makes a goblet hold water? Transfiguration taught at Hogwarts starts with simple objects and gradually moves toward living creatures, which are the most difficult to transform correctly. The switching spell swaps two objects' positions instantly. You point your wand at both items and cast the spell, and they trade places in a blink. This isn't just moving things, you're actually exchanging their locations in space. The objects can be different sizes, but switching very large items with very small ones requires more power. You might switch your position with a chair to escape danger, or switch an enemy's wand with a stick. Muffliato creates a buzzing sound that fills the ears of anyone nearby, making it impossible for them to hear conversations. The people affected don't realize they're under a spell. They just think there's an annoying buzzing noise. Level 6. Wizarding World-Bending Spells. These spells manipulate the fundamental rules that govern reality itself. They don't just affect objects or people, they twist time, hide secrets so completely that torture can't reveal them, or punch holes through space to create instant travel routes. The magical theory behind them is so complex that most wizards never attempt to cast them. The Time Turner is a magical device that lets you travel backward in time. You wear it like a necklace, turn the hourglass a specific number of times, and suddenly you're in the past. Each turn takes you back 1 hour. When you're in the past, you exist alongside your past self, so you have to be extremely careful not to be seen or to interfere with events. The Ministry of Magic keeps strict control over time turners because changing the past can create catastrophic problems. If you accidentally prevent something that was supposed to happen, you could erase people from existence or create impossible contradictions. Time turners follow a closed-loop rule. Anything you do in the past already happened, so you can't actually change history, only fulfill it. The Fidelius charm hides a secret inside a single person's soul. That person becomes the secret keeper, and the information literally cannot exist outside their mind unless they choose to share it. You might use it to hide the location of a house. Once the charm is cast, someone could stand right in front of that house and not see it. They could read the address in a letter and forget it immediately. Only if the secret keeper tells them directly can they access the information. Even Veritaserum Truth Potion or the Imperious Curse can't force a secret keeper to reveal what they're protecting. The magic is that absolute. If the secret keeper dies without telling anyone, the secret dies with them forever. Portus transforms an ordinary object into a port key. When someone touches a port key, they're instantly transported to whatever location the creator designated. Level 7. Mastery and Legendary Spells. The highest level isn't really about spells you can learn from a book or practice in class. It's about 3 legendary objects called the Deathly Hallows, created by death itself according to wizard legend. These objects represent the absolute peak of magical power, and they've shaped wizarding history for centuries. Possessing even one makes you extraordinarily powerful, but owning all 3 supposedly makes you the Master of Death. The Elder Wand is the most powerful wand ever created. Unlike normal wands that bond with their owners, the Elder Wand only respects strength. It belongs to whoever defeats its previous master, whether through killing them, disarming them, or overpowering them in any way. When you wield the Elder Wand, every spell you cast becomes magnified. Charms work perfectly on the first try, curses hit harder, and shields become nearly unbreakable. The wand doesn't make you smarter or teach you new spells, but it amplifies your existing abilities to their maximum potential. Throughout history, the wand has passed from master to master through violence, leaving a trail of dead wizards who all wanted its power for themselves. The Resurrection Stone brings back the dead, but not truly. When you turn the stone 3 times in your hand, the spirits of deceased people appear before you. They're not solid or alive, they're more like echoes or shadows of who they were. They can speak and interact with you, but they don't belong in the living world anymore. They exist in a sad, half-present state, caught between life and death. The stone doesn't actually reverse death or restore life. It just pulls spirits temporarily back from whatever comes after. The Cloak of Invisibility makes its wearer completely invisible and undetectable. Unlike regular invisibility cloaks that wear out or can be penetrated by spells, this cloak never fades, and no magic can reveal the person underneath.